Ipsos pollster Daryl Bricker says the most important demographic trend is not about party, but turnout.
Even at the best of times, Canadians are never very enthusiastic about an election. So I understand the frustration.
Experts say that frustration is also a problem for potential Liberal voters.
Potentially voting for another party.
From day one, Trudeau has refused to say he's out to win a majority. He came the closest to that admission on day 34.
I'm not going to engage in hypothetical questions right now. We are focused on winning every...
O'Toole won't weigh in.
In our collective fight against COVID-19, I will work with
time the NDP leader has been to this riding during the campaign.
How attainable are these 3 ridings for the New Democrats?
We're very hopeful, we're very excited, very optimistic.
The NDP's popularity in Quebec has sunk from a decade ago when it was at its peak. The Liberals won Sherbrooke in 2019, and they took Sackville then.
I'm just not comfortable with that.
Others are frustrated by government messaging.
Dr. Bonnie Henry in a Kamloops article in May said that the inequities in our society are such that there's no way we would implement a vaccine passport. She said that in May.
You could barely hear the loudspeakers. Close to 5,000 people rallied in front of Vancouver City Hall this afternoon, causing complete gridlock in the area around the Vancouver General Hospital. At one point, the crowd parted so an ambulance could slowly pass through.
And meantime, ICUs are now at the highest level of surge response. Staff looking for any corner to put an ICU bed.
To see the reality about the 4th wave.
1, 2, 3 people don't believe it. This is real.
1/3 of the people here are COVID patients fighting for their lives, each one unvaccinated because they felt it was not important.
Some of the unvaccinated.
Doctors across Canada report the unvaccinated who get sick are younger.
The COVID-19 crisis in Alberta is hurting the Tories, and that could mean fewer seats in that province.
You could have a very bizarre...
To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass and dictate.
And some need ECMO, equipment that puts oxygen into their blood because their lungs have failed.
There's a catheter the size of a garden hose in his neck, and there's a catheter the size of a garden hose in his groin. It takes the carbon dioxide out, puts the oxygen in, and then pumps it back into his heart.
And each requires a medical team 24/7, largely avoidable with vaccination, say doctors. This unit, like many hospitals across the country, has also seen an exodus of staff. And some say the health system is cracking under the stress with this plea to vaccine skeptics.
Our goal would be to increase vaccination, because vaccination is what's going to get us out of this. And so I don't actually care if people believe it's real or not, as long as they get a vaccine.